Salam, shalom, hola, aloha, osio, bonjour, assalamu alaikum. It's your brother Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live in full effect. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell down below so you can be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. Thank you. I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump into another one. Today, I want to continue my series on growing up as a so-called black man in America. I believe last time I ended on speaking on how, like after I graduated high school and some of the things that I did. So I want to pick up and I want to jump to the year 2016, all right, 2016. I want to say in 2016 was a very memorable year. After all the stuff I did, gaining more knowledge, more information. After I was asked, some of those questions by that Moroccan brother, I was like, man, that kind of planted something inside of me, like a question, a question that I had to answer. So I knew it was more that I needed to seek, and I started to gain a certain amount of enlightenment. Excuse me. I started to seek knowledge. I just so happened to run into a documentary series. All right, I found a series. It was called Hidden Colors. Great series. If you have not seen it, it was created by Tariq Nasheed. Regardless of what you might think about Tariq Nasheed, the documentary series that he made, very, very eye-opening, very, very awakening. One of my favorite documentaries. Actually, I'm gonna show you really fast. This is the first one right here. Let me know if you want me to do a review or something on these. This is the very first one that I watched. They gave me the insight to start looking toward my nationality, looking toward my Indian ancestry, my American Indian ancestry, all right, my indigenous ancestry, my roots. And, just thinking about some of the stories I heard growing up from my elders, the elders of my family. It really touched me. It was like a message to the inner me. It shot straight through my consciousness to my very being, and I was like, the information in that was so awakening that I was just starving. I was parched. I just needed more of that information, and I really could not get enough of it. That's just the first one. Luckily, there's more information. Hidden Colors 2 right here. It's a great one. And then it continues. The Hidden Colors 3. If you have not seen this one, grab that. Hidden Colors 4. I got the whole set, man. I got the whole series. Hidden Colors 4. These documentaries are a great wealth of information and knowledge. And the last one that came out, I believe this one was released in 2019, Hidden Colors 5. Got the good brother Reza Islam on there. A few more notable names from like pop culture or social media. Great wealth of information, fam. If you don't own them, maybe you can find them online. But hopefully you can find that information. And it can, invigorate you, it can energize you, it can awaken you. But great documentary series, and honestly, I believe that information, that knowledge reawakened something that was lulled to sleep in me by the society that we're in, by distractions out here in our daily lives. That reawakened something in me from when I was a child, like a sense of royalty, a sense of purpose, a sense of honor, a sense of duty and respect, a sense of self-value, being placed in environments, so-called ghettos, because we all know the history of ghettos created in World War II to place the Khazars, or the so-called Jewish, in there by the Nazi regime, all right? So the history of ghettos here in America were used to place the urban indigenous, the urban Indians, the ones who did not choose to move during the Indian Removal Act, the ones who did not choose to move, who chose to be assimilated into society during like the Trail of Tears, So some people didn't want to leave their farmlands, some people didn't want to be uprooted, so they went along to get along. They called themselves blacks, Negroes, coloreds. They completely abandoned the Indian title, the Indian status, in order to keep, the land, and some gave it up in order for the right to vote. So, especially in this time that we're in now, when some people choose to speak about the history of voting in this country, and so-called black people, so-called American Negroes, so-called African Americans fought and died for the right to vote. During those days, it said that so-called Negroes did not have the right to vote. It said Indians didn't have the right to vote. And in order to have the right to vote, you had to call yourself like a Negro or a black. And then that would strip you of your status and your heritage as a American Indian, as a indigenous person here on this land, and put you in that corporate citizen status, which is chattel property. All right. But speaking more about, my upbringing and some of my experiences growing up and finding my nationality, learning what nationality is, because in this country, in the public education system, from kindergarten to 12th grade, I never heard anybody talk about nationality, fam. Like, never really heard them break it down and really drill it into our head that white, so-called black are not nationalities at all. All right. I didn't learn that until after I got out of high school and I started doing my own research. And honestly, until I started checking out the information on these great documentaries. So hopefully you can find those Hidden Color documentaries and you can get some knowledge and some insight from those, from Hidden Colors all the way to Hidden Colors 5. Great information. I really can't drive that home enough. So in 2016, I really stopped claiming the whole black status. I stopped calling myself black. I stopped calling myself African American. Like, I know exactly what and who that pertains to, and I completely separated from that. Like, mentally, and then spiritually, and then lastly, it'll be physically. I completely separated myself from that. I don't claim that. I don't go by that. I don't let anyone put that title on me. Like, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because of course I know that they were raised in this education system just like me, a lot of people. But I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I will try to educate them, and I will tell them very, very fast, hey, I'm American Indian. That black, that Negro stuff, the African American stuff doesn't have anything to do with me. Like, people might mistakenly think that has something to do with me, but nah, it has nothing to do with me or my people. That's not us. I heard someone else break that down. Like, what is an African American? Someone brought up the fact that Elon Musk is more of an African American than so-called American Negroes here in America, because Elon Musk, the CEO and founder of Tesla, he comes from South Africa. So his citizenship resides in South Africa. He also has dual citizenship here in America. So coming from South Africa here to America, he can be called a African American, because his original citizenship is in that country of South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So he can be considered an African American. People who are homegrown, who have always been here, so-called African Americans, Negroes, American Negroes, we sprung up, our ancestors more than likely sprung up from the earth that is beneath our feet, the red clay dirt, So as an American, we just claim America, So I completely separated myself. I know a few celebrities also talk about that, like, Waka Flocka, just a few other celebrities, Chris Brown, a lot of people, Shaka Khan, the Jackson family, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. All of these people know exactly who they are and who their heritage, what their heritage is, and they claim American Indians. So that's truly who we are. And then other people in other countries, they don't learn about what happened to the so-called Negroes here in America. They don't learn how, like the plight and the history of, the whole civil rights movement and stuff like that. They don't really learn about that in other countries. They learn about, like, the American Indians, the red man, and then they learn about colonization. And, like, that's pretty much all of American history they learn. They don't learn about the whole Jim Crow era and, redlining and racial segregation and things of that nature. So when those foreign people come over here, they don't know anything about the history and the plight of our people. The closest that they might learn about that is Martin Luther King and his plight, or when the brother Alhaji Miguel Shabazz or Malcolm X went to Oxford over there in the UK, or brought up a plea for us in the United Nations as a people. That's the only information that they might even hear about that, fam. So a lot of these people come over here completely ignorant of what a lot of our ancestors went through. So that's very important. Moving along to 2017. So I was gaining all this information and knowledge in 2016. I started to correct my status and things of that nature. You have to go through an awakening mentally first, and most likely even spiritually. If you feel it spiritually, and then mentally you're just driven toward it. And then once you get there mentally, then your body is just going to follow behind. So physically will be the last one. My son was born in 2017. That was a very, very special time for me. My namesake, Zachary the Third. So he was born. Great time of my life, being a father. Getting prepared, for the life that I thought I was gonna live. Being the kind of man that he would want me to be. It was times back in the day when I would hold him in my arms, and I would be speaking about this information and this knowledge to my brother, or I would be speaking to my cousin or my mother, somebody who was there listening to me, and I would be speaking about this information, and I would be holding him in my arms, and I would look down at him, and his eyes would be like deer in the headlights. Like, he would be like so focused on me, like I could tell that he was absorbing exactly what I was saying at only months old. Like, it seems like he was so captivated by what I was saying, honestly. Like that picture is so vivid in my mind right now. So that was a very, very happy time in my life. Also during that time, from the start of 2017 when my son was born, to the end of 2017 when things started to go amiss with his mother, the woman I was involved with at the time. I wanted to try to mold her to be more of the woman I wanted her to be, for our family in the future. Nothing too over the top. Like really, I was just trying to share with her that wealth of information and knowledge that I had started to gain, right? Mind you, I was a few years older than her, but I was absorbing this information, and I was at a place in my life that this is the way I was going to be moving. And maybe she wasn't really 100% with that. Maybe it was too difficult. We never really had a conversation on why exactly she's like started to get resistance to what I was doing, because at first she seemed very receptive of the information that I was gaining and that I was putting her up on, because a lot of these women always say that they want you to be able to teach them something, all right? So as I was learning and I was digesting this information and this knowledge, I was regurgitating and feeding it to her, so it could make us stronger as a unit. I'm not sure, like I really can't answer this question for her, but the way I felt and the way I think, maybe she was just caught up by the ways of the world. She would complain about she didn't have time to like live and be young. She had turned 21 and she never been to the clubs or the bars and stuff like that. So we went to the bars on a few occasions when my mother volunteered to watch my son. We would go out and actually have fun, and we had time. But I guess it just wasn't enough for her. I can only speak on my shortcomings in this situation, but I can't really speak on, the things that she did. But or I can't really speak on the things or the way that she felt about the things that she did, I should say. But honestly, it ruined my life. I'm just gonna be plain and simple. It ruined my life. Honestly, during that year, I felt like I gained a nemesis, fam. I felt like I gained an arch enemy. Like from 2017 toward the end of that year, all the way till now, fam. I felt like I gained a enemy, an arch nemesis. You know how you might watch those old Saturday morning cartoons, and it's always that one bad guy that's trying to get the good guy, all right? So it's like, I'm Batman, she's Joker, you know what I'm saying? I'm Inspector Gadget, and she's the Claw, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's my arch enemy. Like, she wants to take me down in any way, shape, or form that she possibly can, fam. And that's not a good place to be. Like, I'm not gonna say that I'm always watching my back or watching over my shoulders, but I've become a lot more cautious, knowing that there's literally somebody after me who's seeking my downfall, who's praying, who's praying on my demise, honestly, who will do anything in their power, someone who would do anything in their power in order to take me down. Like, I gained that in 2017, fam. And I know a lot of men might feel that if they have a baby mother, the mother of their child, and there's strife between them, I'm telling you, a lot of people can feel this. And all I can say is I felt so undeserving of that I was just trying to be a stand-up guy. I was really just trying to be a good person. I was really just trying to be there for my family and be the man that my family needed me to be. And she honestly stripped that away from me. She stripped the most important thing of my life on this planet, on this physical realm, the most important thing that I cared about, that I cared for. She took that away from me, and she knew this. She knew this, and she did that because that's the power and the leverage that she wielded, and she was so eager to use that power in order to hurt me, in order to try to destroy me. But I showed her I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still kicking, I'm still standing. I'm not locked up, I'm not behind bars, I'm not 6 feet under the ground. I'm here, fam, and I'm still standing up. I'm still putting this information out here for you all. I really just wanted to say that because, like, out of all the things I've gone through, that really felt like the biggest obstacle. Whenever I felt like the court systems or policy enforcers were against me, like having her, the mother of my child, like aiming to try to take me down, and willing to try to work with these other people in order to try to take me down. Like, and when I say these other people, I mean like spreading lies in the court systems about me, and building up a criminal record of her own, and putting my children in danger, putting my child in danger, just by her reckless actions. It's just something that I'll never get used to, that I can never just completely let go. Yeah, from the end of 2017, it was like all downhill. I moved around, resettled. That probably took all the way until like 2018. So in 2018, I really bunkered down, fam. I strapped it down. I went monk mode. I turned into a monk. I turned into a hermit. I was studying. I wasn't going out partying, drinking, smoking. I wasn't hanging out. Like, literally, I was studying. I was reading. I was watching videos. I was writing. I was drafting up documentation. I was printing out documentation. I was copying. I was pasting. I was sending things off. I was receiving things back. I was doing a lot of trial and error, fam. Like I was really in my bag this year in 2018. Like I was studying, and I was constantly building in the dark. You know what I'm saying? In the dark, when you build it, nobody can see you, fam. And honestly, I didn't care about the recognition. I didn't care about being recognized. I didn't care about the notoriety. I didn't care about getting attention at all. Like honestly, I was just trying to build. I was trying to build, and I was trying to grow. And when plants grow in the dirt, fam. You put plants in the dirt. You put dirt on top of them, and they in the dark. And that's exactly where I was. I was in the dark. I was under the ground, covered in dirt. And that was the perfect environment in order for me to grow, in order for me to germinate, in order for me to cultivate this gift that I have. And I decided to put everything I had into this, and pretty much to never go back. So I established a family trust. I corrected my nationality and status by sending certain papers off on the federal level, and documents, putting these entities on notice. When I say entities, I mean like these different bureaus, or these different agencies or organizations that call themselves government. I put a lot of them on notice of my status and the history behind it, so they know that I know. All right, and I got verification of facts and stuff off. All right, this is something you and anybody can do. So yeah, I did that on the federal level. So in 2018, I was just grinding. I was building. I was just remolding and reshaping myself, man. Because, like, honestly, I had nothing to lose and I had everything to gain. So, into 2018. I had a few setbacks during that, of course. Me missing my son. I was actually tricked into, like I said, my nemesis. She actually tricked me into a plot that she wanted to get me arrested. So, she invited me over her place. Just for me, of course, to see my son and spend some time with him after like over a year of not seeing him, fam. So of course I was eager to do that. I loved him. That's my flesh and blood. She knew that was my only weakness, because see, that's the downside about if if somebody that you have children with becomes a adversary, becomes an enemy to you, and that person knows that you care about those, the child or your seed, and they know that you care about that, they will try to use that against you, and that's exactly what she did. She knew that she could always reach out to me and say that, oh, do you want to see Zachary? Do you want to spend some time with him? Blah, blah. And I was always like, yes, 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 I want to see him, Yeah, so she used that against me in order to try to get me arrested. I was holding my son in my arms. Long story short, I actually have a video on this, but the phone that I have the video on actually broke. So I would have to get that phone recharged or repaired in order to get that video off of there. But I actually have a court case and a suit behind this because I was assaulted while I was holding my son in my arms, and I was completely innocent of these charges. I was apprehended and arrested, and they also took possession of my legally held arm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, y'all completely violated me all around. So I was taken, abducted, and I was held against my will for over 24 hours. And then I was pretty much vindicated and released from that. I beat that case, and I have on video that the officer put his hands on me while I was holding my son. So assaulted me and my son, putting our lives in danger when I was completely innocent before anything was even proven in the courts. So, man, I swear, honestly, just thinking about that's some traumatic stuff, I'm right here trying to protect my son, hold my son, and I'm being assaulted by so-called police officers, by policy enforcers, I'm definitely gonna get mine for that. Best believe it. So, just to move along here, I'm going to end this out soon, about the 30-minute mark. All right, so that was in 2018, toward the end of 2018. So I pretty much cleared my name of those alleged charges. In 2019, I was back building. I decided to make a channel during that year, but I didn't start yet. So I was still, getting mentally prepared, gathering information in order to figure out what I was going to put on my channel. So actually 2019 was the first year I started this family. Was the first year I started this channel, fam. So I really do thank you for rocking with me. In 2019, I also met a woman, one of the best women I've actually ever met. There's this old saying that a man only gets 3 greats. You know what I'm saying? So you get 3 great women in your life, fam, that you get a chance to actually build a future with. And if you fumble all those 3, you might not get another chance, fam. And if she was one of the 3 greats, I honestly felt like she was one of the 3 greats. And honestly, I might have fumbled that relationship, We weren't always on the same page all the time, but that was like the last really good relationship I had, fam. I really felt this woman cared for me. Like she was willing to go to bat for me, fam. But I had her support. I was on my purpose, and I was doing my channel. So in the midst of me, having this new relationship with this great woman, she was in the Navy at the time. If you're out there and you support me, thank you. I really do appreciate that. I decided to make my YouTube channel at that time, and I really wanted to just help people. I just wanted to help people who were like me, people who was finding the information, people who might be lost, any questions that they might have, just going through the same thing that I might be going through. People who might be a few years younger than me, who might be a lot younger than me, just who might have some questions on somebody who has gone through it before. So I really just want to end this right here. I really thank you for rocking with me once again. This was my life story, growing up as a so-called black man in America. The trials and tribulations. But once again, this is your brother Zach Bay, Indigenous American Moore. Peace.